Hey, thanks for your response. I think all of the sciences over the past century, at least for quantum physics, and more so in other sciences more recently, this Cartesian gap between subject and object has been called into question. Most honest scientists, or at least philosophically um, aware scientists, no longer claim to be giving objective knowledge of the world itself, independent of their subjective or intersubjective shared perspectives. We are embedded in nature, and the knowledge we have of nature is more of a participatory form than it is this distant and mechanical understanding of it. I think it's the image of nature as a machine, as a collection of objects, which has led us here, and I think you had admitted that. Um, but the New Age mythology of the Gaia theory, which Zizek criticizes, is not a mythology at all. It's certainly been co-opted by a certain um, group of people who interpret it as sort of a call to return to Mother Nature and so forth. But um, James Lovelock and Lynn Margulis and the other scientists who are developing this theory are just that. They're scientists, and this is a theory which is being taken very seriously within ecological circles. It's the new paradigm for life sciences to recognize the essential unity of living and inorganic matter, whether it's the air in the atmosphere, or the water in the oceans, or the soil, or the rocks. Um, we're coming to see that evolution involves all of these things working in concert, and um, this is more of it's an understanding of the circular um, self-regulating dynamics, which Cartesian science wouldn't have recognized. Cartesian science recognizes parts external to other parts operating like a gearwork, and you could easily remove one and replace it with another, and it's a very simplified understanding of the way organisms work, the way ecosystems work, and the reality seems to be that the parts of an ecosystem are all internally related to one another. If you, for example, introduce an invasive species, it could very well break down the feedback loops which have stabilized themselves in that particular area and send the whole system into disarray. Um, and to say that there is no balance, I think, is it's wrong. Really, I mean, the Gaia theory has been pretty well proven based on all the computer models you want, and it suggests that the Earth does have some kind of a homeostatic balance. It's the only reason life has continued to exist over the course of the past few billion years. As the sun's temperature has increased, the Earth has kept a stable temperature. And as I said in my last video, this is not to say that nature is perfect, or that there aren't catastrophes. Catastrophe is what allows evolution to occur. If there were no strife, there would be no development, there would be no diversification. Um, but on the other hand, you know, understanding that the Gaia theory is not mythology, I think we have to also appreciate the degree to which human beings cannot live without a collective narrative of some kind, without a myth to live by. It's just something our psyche requires in order to be whole. Um, and so I'm not necessarily opposed to these sorts of, new age ideas. I think we do, contrary to what Zizek says about alienating ourselves more, we need to pay attention to the science, but I think what gets us to act really is appropriating a new sense of ourselves in relation to the cosmos, which means we need a new story about the human species, where we came from and where we're going, because the story we're operating under now is pretty destructive and insidious, because it pretends not to be a story. The whole idea of the end of history and ideology, Fukuyama's idea, is that capitalism is not an ideology, and that our techno-industrial system is not an ideology, it's just the natural course of events. That's, I think, so insidious, it's almost evil, because this is an ideology. We have fully internalized the notion of ourselves as disembodied Cartesian subjects who consume products, produced from raw materials, and then we throw it away and expect that linear chain of production, consumption, and trashing is somehow sustainable. And it's because we've convinced ourselves that this is the story, that human progress just naturally leads to the capitalistic, exploitative, technological system. And that's a mythology that needs to be changed. And we can consciously change it, but the function of myth is always operating at an unconscious level, so this is a difficult transition we have to move through, and nobody's saying it will be easy, but to say that we need to further alienate ourselves is backward, I think. I don't think that's quite where the solution lies, but yeah, I'll leave it at that, and let me know your thoughts. I'm specifically interested to see what you think about what I've said about the necessity of a mythology, that we need a new story in order to correct the old story of progress inevitably leading to this industrialized technological civilization. So let me know what you think about that, and have a nice day.